Ever wondered how to connect related data in your database, like posts to users or orders to customers? This is where associations come in. In this video, I'll show you how to implement one-to-many relationships using Sequelize and TypeScript. From database migrations to model setup and querying, this is your full guide to mastering one-to-many associations the right way. Data in your application doesn't live in isolation. For example, an order can have line items or a user can have posts. These data interactions are called relations in terms of the database, and specifically in Sequelize, they are called associations. Sequelize supports one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many associations. The one-to-many is the most used association. Let's take a look at how we can implement it. I am in Sequelize Express project. As usual, the link to the code for this video is in the description below. Let's enable users to have posts. As usual, we start with a post route. In API test.http file, let's define a route to create a post. Since this is a post route, no pun intended, we need to specify content type header to be application JSON. The payload will contain post title, body, and user ID. Normally, this will be an authenticated user that uses the application. However, to keep things simple, we will just send a user ID in the payload. Let's go ahead and implement this route. The first thing we're going to do is create a table for posts using Sequelize migrations. We covered migrations in the previous video. Please check it out if you would like to learn how to create migrations in Sequelize. We're going to run a migration create command and name migration file post table.ts. In the migration file, we're going to import data types and Sequelize from Sequelize and type migration from umzug. The app function will create a posts table with the ID of type big integer auto-increment primary key. The next column will be user ID. Posts in the database will relate to the users through this column. The type of user ID column needs to match the type of ID column on the users table. We set it as a big integer. We will specify that user ID column references users on key ID. The next thing we need to do is to decide what to do if the ID of a user gets changed or a user gets deleted. The possible choices are restrict, cascade, no action, set default, and set null. The choice depends on what makes sense for your application. For example, in e-commerce application, if an order is deleted, it doesn't make sense to keep that order's line items. Therefore, they can be deleted as well. In this case, you can use cascade action. In our case, if a user gets deleted, we may still want to keep their posts. So we will use set null for onDelete. If a user's ID gets updated, in our case, it is unlikely since the ID is the primary key, we should update user ID on the posts table. Therefore, we use cascade action for onUpdate. We're done with the ID column. Now we can define title to be type of string and body of type text, and the usual timestamps created at and updated at. The down function of the migration will simply drop the posts table. Let's go ahead and run the migration with the command npm run migrate. The migration ran successfully. If we look at the posts table in the database, we can see all the columns we defined. We also can see two indexes. One is the primary key on the ID column, and the other one is user ID on user ID column. User ID is sometimes called a foreign key because it points to an ID that lives in a different table. When we define a foreign key constraint in MySQL database, it indexes it by default to make queries faster. The same is not true when working with a Postgres database. You have to decide for yourself if you want to index foreign keys. Okay, moving on. Next thing we need to do is create a post model. Sequelize does not automatically sync models to migrations, so we must keep both models and migrations consistent manually. Let's create a post model. But before we do that, if you are learning something new, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We are going to create post.ts file in the src data models folder. We will import creation optional as well as infer attributes and infer creation attributes from Sequelize and decorators from Sequelize TypeScript. Since we're going to associate posts to users, we will also import a user model. We will export default class post that extends Sequelize model. We will define ID as primary key and creation optional since it will be assigned by the database. Besides the column decorator, user ID will have a foreign key decorator that references the user model. We will define title and body columns that will have basic validations. Created at and updated at columns will be also creation optional because Sequelize will automatically populate them. Next, we will add a property called author. This will be a user the post belongs to. Author column does not exist in the database. It exists only in Sequelize. You can name this association property whatever you want. It will show up on the post model if you query posts and tell Sequelize that you need to fetch the user for that post as well. Finally, we will hide user ID, created at and updated at properties from the response using ToJSON method. Next, let's go ahead and define the post association on the user model. In the user model file, we will import hasMany decorator from Sequelize TypeScript and the post model. Towards the bottom of the user model definition, let's declare an optional post property of type an array of posts. The posts column doesn't exist on the users table and only defined by Sequelize. We will use hasMany decorator to associate this property with a post model. Great, now let's create a post repository to be able to create posts and later to query them. In the src data repository folder, create a file at postrepository.ts. We will import post, user, base repository, and a constructor type. The constructor function at postrepository will return a class that extends the base. In this class, define createUserPost method. This method will accept a user and post attribute. Rather than calling create method on the post model, we will take an advantage of the association we created. We will use $create method on the user to create a post. This is how you can create an entity using an association in Sequelize TypeScript. This approach is usually useful when an instance has already been fetched, for example, during an authentication process. The last thing to do is to add posts repository to the main repository. In the index.ts file in the repository folder, let's import add post repository and add it to the combined repository. Now let's go ahead and create post routes. In the src routes folder, let's create post.ts file. We will import express, request, and response from express and repository from repository. An exported create post routes function will accept an express app as a parameter. On the Express app, we will call post method to handle the create post request. We will extract user ID and post payload from the request body. We're going to get user by its ID. If the user is not found, we will return 404 user not found response back. If the user exists, we can pass it together with a post payload to create user post method that we just defined in the repository. Finally, let's update index.ts file in the routes folder to include the post routes. We're all set. Start the dev server and make a create post request from the API test.http file. The post was created successfully and assigned to an existing user with the ID of 1. Similar to how we used a user and post association to create a post, we can use a user and post association to get posts. Let's create a get request to list post by user. Again, this is a bit of a contrived example. Normally you will get a user from the authentication, but in our case, for simplicity, we put user ID as a route parameter. In add post repository file, let's add get user post method that will take a user as an argument. We will call $get method on the user instance and specify post association. As a second argument, you can put options object the same way you do with a getAll method. In our case, I will use the default limit that I defined earlier on the base repository class. In user.ts file in the routes folder, let's add app.getRouteHandler for user post route. We will get user ID from the route parameter and attempt to fetch a user by this ID. If we don't get a user, we will return a 404 user not found response. Otherwise, we'll call getUserPost method on the repository, passing to it the user and respond with a returned post in JSON format. In API test.http file, let's make a call to get posts for a user with the ID of 1. We get back an array with 1 post that we just created. Great. Fetching a user first and then getting posts associated with a user is called lazy loading. Although convenient, lazy loading sometimes can lead to n+1 problem. The n+1 query problem occurs in data access when an application retrieves a list of data and then for each item in the list makes an additional query to fetch related data. In our case, if we get a list of users and then for each user we get posts. To avoid n+1 problem in certain cases, you can use eager loading instead of lazy loading. Let's take a look how to eager load a user when fetching posts. First, let's define a getPost route in API test.http file. Next, in the addPost repository file, add getPosts method. We will use findAll method on the post model and pass it an options object. As usual, we will limit the number of posts we retrieve by setting the default limit. Besides the limit, we will define an include object. This include object will enable us to lazy load a post user, in our case an author. We will assign user model to the model property. Optionally, we can use attribute property to specify which user fields we want to include. We will include ID and name. In our case, a post can have only one user. However, if you are trying to eager load posts on a user in the include object, you can also use Sequelize query attributes such as where, limit, order by, and others. Next, in a post.ts file, let's define getPostRoute handler by calling a get method on the app. We will use getPost method on the repository to get posts and return them back in JSON format. Finally, let's go to API test.http file and make a call to list posts. In the response, you can see that a post now has an author attribute with the ID and the name of the user that the post belongs to. Sequelize TypeScript figured out that it needs to use the author property that was defined on the post model and attach the user to it. Also, if we take a look at the console, we can see eager loading produced only one query instead of two, using left outer join to retrieve the related user. Now that you've seen how one-to-many associations work in Sequelize, it's time to level up your skills even further. In the next video, we'll tackle many-to-many relationships, perfect for cases like users with multiple roles or posts with multiple tags. You will learn how to create junction tables, define models, and query complex relationships with ease. Click on the next video to keep building your Sequelize expertise.